Hey guys, today is an exciting day. We are in our studio and we are T-minus 2 days away from filming on this studio setup that we have built here. If you guys aren't subscribed, you may never see our videos ever again. So if you want to see our content, you know what to do. We just finished building. We're kind of finalizing the art direction. It's not 100% done yet, but we wanted to give you guys some breakdowns and some ideas of creating soft light in small spaces. And traditionally, you see a lot of point source lights with a softbox and a big layer diffusion as your soft light, which is a great way to do it. But if you're on location with a client, you don't have that kind of real estate. You don't have the real estate of a point source, softbox, diffusion. It's a lot of room. So let's use this set as a backdrop in creating some really soft lights using something maybe not traditional. Aperture Infinibars. Now this is the new 4-pack that just got released and we're stoked about it because the 8-pack is really big, kind of heavy, sorry, Aperture, or you just had to buy them individually, but now you can get a 4-pack, and yes, these are the same lights that you see, that they look like they belong in raves, that you see in a lot of music videos, in a lot of product videos, in the background, but we're gonna use them in a totally different way. We're gonna use them to actually light people and subjects as a key light and as a portrait light. So we're gonna show you guys some of those things. These have been out for a long time. They've been out for 1.5 years, so I'm sure you guys have seen a couple of videos on the cool pixel mapping. In fact, we do have a little bit on the last scene, so stick around for that. But let's talk about creating soft portrait light with these. We're gonna talk to the gaffer for this project, Zach. He has been setting up some of the lights, and now that these are here in time, we're actually gonna be swapping out a few of the lights that we do have for the Aperture Infinibars. So let's find Zach and have him give us a breakdown. I found him. He wasn't far away.
I'm right here.
So Zach, I know you were talking earlier, once the Infinibars came in, I know you're talking about switching a couple of lights around that we do have in here. So why don't you tell me what we're doing and maybe what we're changing, what we have.
Yeah, so we have kind of this little closet scene here, and we have a handful of different aperture lights illuminating the space. We've got a B7C screwed into that wall sconce right there. What's beautiful about that is we don't have to run power to it. It's just running off batteries. You gotta love that. Then we have our MC Pros kind of hidden in all this shelving. We actually have a little bit of gaff tape concealing all those, so that's pretty nice. But our key light actually is a handful of different things. It's quite a few different stands. We're using a 300X right here with an aperture spotlight mount, blasting into a foam core bead board up top that's being held in with a Cardellini and a gobo arm. And then we're using a wag flag to kind of flag off some of that extra spill that would have otherwise hit the background here. And what I think we can do is take one of these Infinibars and actually replace this whole setup that we've got here as a key light with the Infinibar. I think it's gonna be a lot less stands, a lot less setup, and should just be a little bit more compact for us.
Yeah, and so if this room was just as big as this right here, if this was another wall, this setup would be too big. So we're kind of cheating a little bit already by building this in the studio.
Yeah, and I guess one other downfall with this current light setup is, one thing we like to do a lot is haze up our scenes, create a little bit more atmosphere. And if you were to do a key light like this, where you're actually bouncing the light into a bead board, sometimes that haze can give away the fact that you're bouncing light. You can actually see that beam in the air. So to just minimize it to a single light source mounted up in the wall with an Infinibar could really help if you wanted to haze it up.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think we do A/B tests. So we already got a camera set up. I'll take the place of Susie here.
Get her out of here. We need a real person. Why don't you go ahead and look in that mirror as if you're getting ready for a night out on the town.
Howdy.
And how about you pivot just a little bit more towards the camera here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this camera on and record. Yeah, I'd say it's looking pretty good. Obviously with the light mounted a little bit higher here, it is creating a little bit more brightness on your forehead. I think if we were to bring that Infinibar down even a little bit lower, it's gonna be a lot more flattering.
Yeah. A little bit more in the eyes, help fill that in.
For sure, give you a little bit more of an eye light. I think it's gonna look really nice. It's just a matter of whether we're gonna be able to kill off some of that, that spill.
Yeah. All right, let's give it a test.
Let's check it out.
All right, so Zach, it's set up. How does it look? How's it look on camera? It feels softer in my eyes.
It honestly looks really good, and it's such a minimal setup, which is great. Because the light is in a horizontal orientation, we were able to get that soft wrap kind of going from side to side, from left to right, which looked really good. Our Infinibar is lower than our wag flag right now, so we're not dealing with any of that spill that we were worried about, because that LCD is definitely taking care of it. Yeah, I'm really happy with it.
All right, let's check out the next scene. Let's see what we're working with over here. All right, so Zach, I know this is not how we're gonna use this room particularly, but there's a lot of rooms that we're stuck in that are a lot smaller than we ideally want.
Yeah.
So if we were going to play devil's advocate with me here, use this room as an interview setup, how would we do it?
Yeah, let's have you sit in the chair really quick. So let's say, the person that's being interviewed is kind of there. I think this is a good backdrop, kind of by the desk. We have our camera here, and as I'm looking at it, I think the best idea is probably to motivate from this window that we have. But as I can see, there's quite a bit of shadow on your right side, so we should probably bring in a key light. And with being upstage, we'd want it to be an upstage light. We'd want to put it here. But once you add an interviewer and a key light in here, this is going to fill out really fast, especially if we're using a 300X, a light dome, a WAG flag, a C-stand. It's going to be a lot in here.
And I'm going to be on this back wall in no time, and no fall off behind me.
Exactly. So I think we could probably bring the Infinibars in.
You thinking 2 of them vertically, we can just put a WAG flag in front of it?
I think what we could try to do is actually doing kind of a square formation.
Okay.
We'll have 2 going vertical and 2 going horizontal. It'll also be kind of reminiscent of like a frame of 250, like a 4x4 frame of 250 or 216. And I think that the fall off will really benefit from that by having them both horizontal and vertical. So obviously if the Infinibar is vertical, it's going to wrap vertically. It's going to have a softer wraparound from top to bottom, but it's going to fall a little bit short on the cheekbone here. You can see that pretty stark shadow. That transition's not going to be as smooth. The opposite's going to happen if we put it in a horizontal orientation. You can see that the light is wrapping around horizontally. This light can see more from one side to the other, from left to right. But then, of course, the vertical transition for shadow is not as good. See, you can see this harsh shadow here underneath the chin.
Okay, so combination of both should solve all our problems and create a really soft source.
Exactly. So let's give it a try.
All right, let's check it out. One thing I love about these is, we just got it built, but is the connectivity. You have all of these connection bits.
They're the
That's
connection
the official.
bits.
That's the
what they
official
are.
name of it.
Yeah.
But just all these connections that make it really easy. It's really rigid. Like we can have one point of connection right here to hold the whole square up, and it feels solid. It doesn't feel like it's going to fall apart, which I think is great. It makes these so rigid and feel great. Plus the daisy chaining, the power through all of them. We can plug one in and power all of them.
Yeah.
And charge all of them.
For sure. We've dealt with plenty of other tube lights that have some pretty janky kind of baby pin connections. They're plasticky. This baby pin here feels absolutely so solid, and to be able to have that flexibility of just kind of putting it wherever you want, it's pretty great. All right, so we'll get the C-stand in place here. We're gonna rig it up just like so. All right, it's as simple as that. Look at how close this fixture is to the wall. We're gonna add a little bit of extra layer of diffusion. If you wanna bring that in, you wanna give me a sandbag as well?
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna blood bag this for now. Blood bagging, if you didn't know, means that a human being is actually on the stand making sure that it doesn't go anywhere. So I'm gonna blood bag this thing because I'm a bag full of blood. And now we're gonna bring a sandbag in to take over. All right, so I'm free. I'm gonna step out of this thing. I'm actually gonna go through this portal. Holy smokes.
How's it look on camera?
Yeah, honestly, it's a beautiful soft source. You're getting a nice wrap from top to bottom, left to right. I mean, I think it looks really good. I mean, if I zoom in, I can see a little bit of, a dark part in the eye light, but that's if I'm zooming in, and this diffusion is really helping with that. If you had a light mat or an Infinimat, that's gonna be a really ideal key light for this kind of a setup. It's pretty compact, but I think the whole concept behind this is that to showcase how versatile this tool really is. You can use this for music videos or sci-fi stuff and do the pixel mapping, but it does really work well as a key light as well.
And yeah, not everybody can have everything, right? Like gear's expensive, so the ability to use some of this gear in multiple ways and make it multi-use so that you don't have to own every single thing also is beneficial.
For sure. Maybe we should just go ahead and stick a softbox in here just to see how much real estate it really ends up taking up.
I think we should. Well, it's set up. I cannot see the interviewer at all anymore.
Yeah, it definitely takes up a little bit more space. I mean, there's no denying that I think that it produces a good key light, but in terms of convenience when filming, it's gonna take up more room.
One more scene. Let's show them what we're working with over there.
Let's go. Let's go into this sci-fi spooky room.
Oh, heck yeah, some sci-fi bedroom scene. And you'll see some of the posters are cut off, but no need to worry there. We're not actually filming higher than that, right?
Right, no higher than that. Even though they're 10-foot walls, that's where our frame line's gonna be, for sure.
Oh, cool. So bedroom, really moody scene. So tell me about the lighting setup that we have going on in here.
Yeah, so once again, we have some B7Cs in our practicals here. Our 2 lamps have that deep tungsten kind of orange, which works pretty well to contrast the kind of blue 80s moonlight that we have coming in through our shears. What's really nice about this is we don't actually even have a window here. We didn't even cut into our flat. We're just using the edge of our flat to kind of showcase a window there, which is nice because then we don't have to put any holes in our walls.
Heck yeah.
So we got that blue light coming in. That's actually a 600C. And there's actually one other light that we haven't turned on yet that I'm pretty excited to show you. So I'm gonna grab a ladder here.
All right. What are we working with?
This was all kind of motivated from this lava lamp right here. I love motivating from practicals like this. But the problem is that with the lava lamp, there's some motion going on. The light is changing. So with the Infinibars, we're able to kind of do that. We did a 2-color chase on this. I'm going to turn this on. So we'll have the green and the blue kind of pulsing through to make it feel like it's coming from that lava lamp. And obviously lava lamps don't put out that much light, but hey, it's the movies. We can embellish that a little bit. And I think it makes for a really cool key to kind of give it some more character.
Yeah, and we can control so much. We can control the speed, and when we cut in, we can kind of cheat how that lava lamp looks so that even if it doesn't match up with that, we can make it look like it.
For sure, we could add another color in there if we wanted to, or a dozen more colors, the speed, the intensity. There's really a lot of flexibility with these fixtures.
Well, let's test it out. You want me in there? You want Sally in there?
No, get in there, let's check it out.
Let's see what we're working with here.
Oh yeah, look at that. What a beautiful boy.
What a great use of a light and using a practical in a way that could not be done with any other light. Like the work that you'd have to go through to recreate this.
I know, can you imagine having like a production assistant with 2 gels just kind of on a light, like up on a ladder trying to make that work? It would be nonsensical.
Or even having to have 2 different lights up there that you have to program where this, we just set it, forget it, and every time while we're moving in here, the light is moving exactly the way we need to.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I think I'm gonna take a quick 5.
Okay,
since
I'll
I'm
leave you
here.
be. Yeah, go for it. Don't let any aliens abduct you or anything while you're in here.
I'll do my best.
Okay, good night.
All right, that wraps up this video and Infinibars. And if you're not subscribed to us, you may never see our videos ever again. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Keenan with Threefold. See you in the next one.
We need to put our key light up before we do this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, there he is. Oh, hey. He was hiding behind us the whole time. Caleb. Oh, whoa, what the hell? I'm here too.
The whole gang's here.